Chapter 36. Should we go or should we stay? Captain stood up on the bridge. Lime stood at his right just a smidge. Crew stood at attention, alert, I should mention, as we had done before in the 10 rows of 10. Gentlemen all, ladies too, there's a few things I must say to you. I've been down to the town for a wee look around, and I thought Portofino would do. The Shark needs a bit of dry docking to get barnacles off the bottom. She's a nice sheltered bay to spend a few days, but those pirates, now that's a bit shocking. 'Tis true now that I have my orders to rid the Med of marauders, but to walk through our door while we're sitting ashore, may they ne'er sire any daughters. I wasn't really sure what my uncle meant, but I could feel his mood, and so I agreed with his sentiment, and he continued. So I'll put it to you straight. The mayor says that we can stay as long as the cleaning will take. Town boatwright says 1 week altogether. He says it depends, of course, upon the weather. Joe and Snell say it will take 4 or 5 days. Then there's the pirates to contend. Odds are they'll be back again. Remember that galleon in the fog? Hundreds must have been on board. Ran aground or foundered, and I suppose these today are part of those. We've encountered just a few so far, but mark my words, there's plenty more. We could also, if we think best, just choose a port further west. There's Nice, and let's see, oh yes, there's Marseille. And what's that, Mars? 3 days away? Ask the young lad, Cap, he knows. Me, I say sure, if we were crows. With that came a roar of laughter, precisely what the Cap was after. Ease the tension of the hour. Spirits up, not so dour. In the sailing master's place, I ran a course or to Marseille. Rosanna Lynn, she came with me to offer her support. I opened up Mars' log to a certain page, ran back out with my report. 'Tis about 240 nautical miles, at best 4 or 5 knots per hour, prevailing winds from west to east, plus from Dalebec's logs, I can plainly see currents from a western sea have tremendous adverse power. By now, both Cap and crew were clapping and all smiles. I wanted to run to my bunk and hide. I felt my knees go weak, but I kept that painful urge inside. I said, "My guess, sir, is a week." From the looks on all the faces, I was sure I had misspoken. But the crew stayed in their places, and they saluted as a token. Dalebec came to my left side, his arm round my right shoulder. "Lads, from today, I say with pride, you are looking at a soldier." 'Twas not a minor thing, you know, that ringing of the bell. On top of that, dispatched 4 or more, sent them straight to hell. One more thing, lads, if you will bear it, and afterwards I'm through. Methinks this man has earned a merit. What say you? To a man, they all joined hand and shouted their approval. Cap was pleased, my arm he squeezed, but otherwise stayed neutral. So, Morgan, looking forward, should we go or should we stay? We bought stores to put aboard, and that will take a day. Uncle Willem, Captain, sir, I can't make that decision. One mistake on my part, and they'll have me in derision. Oh, I know, lad, I'm the captain, and that's so very true. But if you were the captain, tell me what you'd do. Well, first off, sir, our 4 deceased we need to lay to rest. Need to go and see the priest, give them nothing but the best. Then there's the 13 villains, and talk of some reward. A few of us are willing to row them to the shores, take them to the sheriff or the court. While there, we can collect the goods you bought and bring them back to Shark. Of course, it's clear the rest of the crew must guard it from more blight, rid the deck of blood and bird dew, be done with all by night. Keep careful watch all through the dark with double guard of men. Then, sails unfurled, the elusive Shark would find the Med again. Once on the open sea, bear west for Port Marseille. Yes, Cap, that's what I would do. if it were me today. Cap followed my suggestions right down to a T. Chapter 37. To backtrack just a bit. Now, while in Portofino, Cap bought olives, biscuits, vino, grapes, both red and green, and things I had never before seen. Although Aunt Harvey says Sardinia has them growing. I saw pomegranates, apricots, and my first dried grapes called raisins, and a heavily olive-laden flatbread. Focaccia, Rosanna Lynn said. Dried fish of all kinds, if you please. Some even dried in what they called a smoker. Gave special taste to fish we always called mediocre. But this was very savory indeed. Oh, and of course, some rounds of cheese. From the look of things, and I do believe Uncle Willem had planned a feast. But that pirate attack put an end to that. So the goods, they simply came on board, without from Cap a jovial word. His plans deferred, for now at least. In town we met with court magistrate, who gave Uncle Willem the bounty rate, and they both signed a receipt. He asked who we were, where we'd been, said the town was crawling with new men, most of them none too discreet. From that galleon that sank in the fog. What, boy? Mulray? That old dog? He's been haunting this shore 10 years, maybe more. You sure 'twas a galleon you saw? Oh, yes, sir, not only saw it, but 'twas 5 of us got on it. I have Mulray's sword and his log. At this point, the old judge was astounded. But once he got over the shock, said Mulray's head was worth 1,500, but he had no such figure in stock. Son, this whole seacoast is your debtor. Our merchants hereabouts can sleep better. I've seen Mulray's sword. You'll get your reward. Take the judge in Genoa this letter. Some advice getting back to your ship. Walk steady, keep a tight lip. Cap said we'd take heed. Now he bade us Godspeed, and on our pistols we kept a tight grip. Double guard as told through the night. Lay awake in my bunk, half from fright. Sails unfurled before dawn, at last we were gone. Portofino was soon out of sight. Chapter 38. Did you hear?
Sails! I count 4! No, 6!
Klein and the Crow yelled out.
Like a mother hen with 4 or 5 chicks. Starboard side, 4 miles, about.
Cap grabbed his glass. Mars did the same.
Let's see if they're just a pain in the ass or if they're playing the game. Let's let them chase us a while. See if they maintain speed. Klein, tell us if they gain a mile, so we'll know just how to proceed. Yes, sir, Cap, Klein sang out. They're splitting up in 3s. I see that, and there's no doubt they're looking at shark for fresh meat. Back in the sailing master's bunk was Mars' long glass. I grabbed it, went and stood next to my unk, and thought, what would I as a pirate do? It's a habit. I scoured the sea ahead of me, completely wrong direction, and sure enough, 2 sails I see. A trap, almost perfection. Cap, we have marauders on both fore and aft. Need to give evasive orders and do it rather fast. Cap looked at me as he turned around. I heard him say, not good. I realized as I saw him frown, and we both then understood. The pirate band had just increased from a group of 6 to 8. Wind was blowing east-northeast. We didn't hesitate. First time I've ever run, Cap said, but I guess there comes the first. Better to be alive than dead. Cap then spat and cursed. We sailed straight south, full with the wind, and watched for sails to follow. Only 2. The captain grinned. Maybe none tomorrow. We kept those 2 ships well in view till Cap was satisfied. There were no others, just those 2.
Above, Klein ratified. We changed our heading then to west. Joe watched the two ships turn.
They got 20-pounders, sir, at best, about 3 miles off our stern.
Cap was barking orders, Joe and Snell the same. I stood outside my quarters, thrilled by this deadly game.
Keep this heading for a bit, then send her in toward shore. Snell was yelling, use the sprit, that's it, now 3 points more. Klein, look sharp now to the north for any sails are coming. Figgins, bring the swivels forth, we'll give those boys a drumming.
First I'd seen a swivel gun. I thought I'd seen them all. Small cannon fastened to the deck, shot a smaller ball. They fit in turrets I'd not seen, at least never gave a thought. 2 iron plates, gun sat between, pinned in by a metal rod. Figgins looked at me, then Cap. I saw Uncle Willem nodding. Figgins yelled, come here, young chap, bring powder, ball, and wadding. He showed me how to load that gun, how to aim and fire. If you're short on the first one, son, just bring the cannon higher. Put no more powder in the breech than in my demonstration. Has 50, 60 yards of reach, and she'll give mass devastation. Here's balls and bags of metal pieces. They act just like chain shot. Remember, closer target is, better chance you've got. Figgins recruited me so fast, and he left me just as quick. Head was spinning, heart was pumping, belly a wee bit sick. The 2 sails were a mile astern, and then cut that by half. Faces I could just discern, and I heard the captain laugh. The shark feigned like a harpooned seal, worn out, wounded, lame, and like thirsty jackals at our heels, on and on they came. The first guns sounded, enemies badly missed their mark.
Figgins, are you ready?
Starboard went the shark. Cap then counted aloud to 10, turned the shark starboard again. Balls whistled short of where we'd been, and then it was our turn. A third of a mile of separation, Shark's gun crew all manned their station. We shuddered to intense vibration. 3 cannonballs found astern. The larger of the 2 marauders, obviously the slower, filled up 5 small craft in the waters and were bound to send them over. Joe was yelling, hard aport! Then he yelled, young Harmony, bring that swivel gun about. I craned my neck to see. I saw them then, looked so strange, rowing through the foam. When I figured they were in range, I sent the missile home. The ball fell short, about 5 yards in front of leading dory. I filled again, this time with shards. 'Twould be a different story. The gun was true, the metal flew. Result was one of slaughter. The shot cut through some 15 crew, and about 30 in the water. 2 boats gone, yet the 3 rowed on. I fairly screamed a warning.
I've loaded again! Please, go back, men! You have no chance of boarding.
One old kipper, maybe the skipper, roars,
lucky shot, you little whelp! You mark my word, I'll come aboard, and with your own sword I'll slit your throat myself.
The boats were now just 30 yards. The metal turned one into shards. A few crewmen hung onto boards. We pulled them from the water. The other 2 boats tried to run, and again I loaded that swivel gun. Just as the ship they'd all come from lay ready to go under. A white flag waved from atop her mast. The 2 crews looked back at us aghast. Then they just sat there, waiting for us. We could hear them moan and cuss. I turned and looked for the other sail, but I saw an empty sea. The elusive shark did again prevail. There was only some debris, and a crew of pirates, 43. We rounded up all the pirate crews. They tossed their weapons in the blue, their oars, their swords, their pistols too, as we had in Port Bastia. We roped them off, one behind another, at least 100 feet behind Queen Mother. My deck gun primed to stop whatever. 'Twas a 7-boat flotilla. Genoa was still 6-8 miles away. Sun was almost gone, but we'd made most 20 miles today, so we voted carry on. In the night, we lost 3 boats. I suppose some still had knives, but with no oars, swift currents, rugged coasts, I fear they lost their lives. Morning light began to glow, cast a lovely color. 6 men in a jolly began to row, sharp moored in deeper water. Soon 3 small skiffs came from the banks and tossed their lines to Snell. The sheriff was among their ranks, other burly men as well. The shore was lining now with folks who'd come down to see the action, and the crew who captured those pirate blokes. They cheered with satisfaction. I got my 1,500. It buzzed about the town. Did you hear about that brave young lad who brought Tom Mulray down?